Maybe we need to pivot. If this takes off, we're a we're a fantasy RPG
We're
podcast.
all in.
Josh, why don't you give us a little preview? What are we looking at here? What are we about to see?
Welcome to Skyrim.
Oh,
During this presentation, please feel free to ask questions when they arise. If I don't know the answer, I'll get really upset. If you need to use the restroom, we all have to watch. And if there are any technical difficulties, I'll take it personally. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. And welcome to Skyrim.
I am relaxed.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is an expansive action role-playing game set in the northernmost province of Tamriel. That is right up here. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Okay, right up here. A vast continent on the planet of Nirn. Known for its icy landscapes and towering mountain ranges, Skyrim, also called the Old Kingdom, Throat of the World, or Kaizal in the ancient dragon language, is home to the Nords, a hardy people renowned for their resistance to the harsh, frosty climate. Skyrim's history is rich and complex, having been once inhabited by the Snow Elves before the Nordic-Falmer War. The Snow Elves were nearly wiped out, and the Atmorans, ancestors of the Nords, settled on the land thereafter. Now let's focus in on Skyrim. In Skyrim, players take on the role of the Dragonborn, a legendary hero chosen by fate to battle Alduin, the World Eater, a dragon prophesied to bring about the destruction of the world. Set 2 centuries after the events of Oblivion, the previous game, the game unfolds in a world brimming with quests, danger, and intrigue. The player has the freedom to roam Skyrim's diverse regions, from its snow-covered mountains to the swamps of Solstheim, an island to the northeast now under the control of Morrowind. Every peak is climbable, every item is grabbable, and every living thing is murderable. The open world structure allows for an immersive experience where the player can explore the vast lands of Skyrim at their own pace, pursuing side quests or simply enjoying the breathtaking scenery. The player's character develops by gaining skills and abilities, which can be tailored to their preferred playstyle, whether as a fearsome warrior, a cunning thief, or a master of magic. With its rich lore, deep storytelling, and immersive environment, Skyrim captures the essence of its world and offers a unique and engaging adventure in a land steeped in ancient history and myth. That's Skyrim, baby. Now, welcome to Friendrim. Skyrim with my friends.
Hooray!
Friendrim's tough.
What is Friendrim? Simply put, Friendrim is an opportunity to roleplay my friends in a virtual world, deepening my immersion into the game and, subsequently, our shared experience. If the bodies, minds, and souls of my friends were ported into this fantasy realm, what would they do and why? Who would they become? Friendrim is a social exercise, a creative endeavor, and, not least, an active form of entertainment. But who was first to journey across this snowy landscape? Introducing Jeffrey Houston Nolan. Jeffrey. First came Jeffrey. With Jeffrey's introduction into the world of Skyrim, I developed the groundwork for what would become Friendrim, and in doing so, I set a series of guidelines to ensure accurate gameplay. Each individual character has their own set of rules within the constructs of the game, outlining the ways in which they interact with every aspect of this virtual world. Their flanderized, fantastical character choices yield an emergent narrative, and the decisions they make, as in life, inform their stories. Here is a broad Skyrim race overview. So in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, there are 10 playable races to choose from. Each race has its own unique abilities, lore, and starting skills. So you have Argonians, lizard people, Bretons, they're human, but kind of like human elf cross. Dark Elves, the Dunmer, that's them there. High Elves, Altmer. Imperials, that's them. Khajiit, cats. Nords, the natural inhabitants of Skyrim. Orcs, or Ismir, right there. Red Guards, on the far right, and then Wood Elves, Bosmer. Here is a broad Skyrim skill class overview. So in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, there are 18 skills that are characterized into 3 main groups: combat, magic, and stealth. These skills are used to improve your character's abilities in different areas, allowing you to create unique play styles. So there are combat skills, which are archery, block, heavy armor, one-handed, two-handed, and smithing. There are magic skills, like alchemy, alteration, conjuration, destruction, illusion, and restoration. And then there are stealth skills: alchemy, light armor, lockpicking, pickpocket, speech, and sneak. Meet Jeffrey, a Weasley spellbard with a weakness for soup and the subtlety of a warhammer. He looks like Jeffrey, acts like Jeffrey, is Jeffrey if Jeffrey were in Skyrim. Jeffrey's race. Jeffrey's race is Breton, the ancient peoples of High Rock, long ago descended from the elves and men. The shortest of the races, but not the slightest, he bears a natural ability to absorb and resist magic. Jeffrey's gameplay difficulty. Jeffrey's gameplay difficulty is Adept, the middling difficulty setting for the game adjusted for ease of use with the constraints of roleplay. Jeffrey's general rules. Rules applying to baseline gameplay. Crafting. No crafting allowed. Jeffrey sucks at crafts. He can't make shit. He can only cook, and he can only cook soup. Selling. Jeffrey can sell valuables, rings, necklaces, circlets, precious materials, unwanted potions, and all fancy costumes, because he's our fancy man. Buying. He can only buy books, including spell books, because he's a nerd. And followers. Jeffrey has no followers. He killed the only NPC who could bit with him, more on that later, and he's a conjurer, more on that too. Jeffrey's advanced gameplay, rules applying to his playthrough. Jeffrey always collects and eats raw ingredients throughout the world to see if he can taste them. Skyrim Jeffrey also can't taste or smell.
I can taste.
Jeffrey always uses the funny answer in dialogue, even if it destroys interactions or relationships, and it often does. Jeffrey refuses to go out if it's raining. He just waits in the nearest inn. This was incredibly annoying. And Jeffrey sells his soul to every available Daedric prince, deity, or murderous cult for the good of the bit. Jeffrey's skills. A comprehensive list of skills Jeffrey uses and advances. 1. Alteration. Because he can alter his self to accomplish goals, be changeable, adaptable, and hardy, like a lizard or a cockroach. Conjuration. He summons big, strong monsters to do his dirty work and spins soul-stealing bits. Illusion. He's non-confrontational, preferring to confuse or distract. Block. In combat, Jeffrey is evasive and defensive, but he blocks with a two-handed weapon, which is highly ineffective, almost pointless. Two-handed weapons. He deals in heavy-handed bits and wildly swings once his position is discovered, despite doing relatively low damage. Light armor. He couldn't move with heavy armor. Lockpicking. Jeff has dainty hands, good for dainty tasks. Sneak. Jeff avoids conflict, utilizing covert bits and subterfuge. And speech. He communicates in creative ways. Now, Jeffrey's gear. Items Jeffrey uses and wears. Cicero's hat, the headwear of a stealthy, recently deceased jester. He wears the Savior's hide, an open-chested furry shirt offering resistance to poison and magic in spite of its bareness. Tumblerbane gloves, gloves that are made for dainty chickadee fingers. Boots of the old gods, funny furry boots that make one very quiet. The Necromancer's amulet, a necklace that increased magical abilities, like bits, but comes at the cost of health and stamina. He would die for the bit. The Ring of the Erudite, a ring Jeff needed to literally become a vampire to get, symbolizing his fall from holiness. The Mage's Pack, a backpack to carry all of his gags for prop comedy, and Volendrum, an insatiable warhammer that absorbs stamina as it swings, literally sucking the life out of people while sustaining its wielder, like a rambling story or a dead fish bit. Jeffrey's journey, part 1. Jeffrey started his story as all Dragonborn do, bound and gagged in the back of a wagon. After simping his way through the main quest, he acquired the Lord Stone Resistance perk so he wouldn't get one-shotted. After that, he immediately sold his soul to the first Daedric prince he could find and was granted a giant warhammer, Volendrum, or, as I like to call it, the Bit Hammer. Once he stole that holy artifact from the cursed tribe of orcs, he did the corniest quest in the entire game, the Book of Love, to secure an additional magic resistance. The added benefit is that he gained the ability to marry. All the while, Jeffrey was summoning small wolves and avoiding rain at all costs. Part 2. Now that he had the ability to marry, he got tricked into joining a terrorist organization, the Forsworn. He left as soon as they killed dozens of innocents and only kept some boots as a souvenir. Then he sold his soul to the second Daedric prince and had to hunt down a werewolf to get a funny, frilly shirt that matches his uncanny real-life resistance to illness. Next, he made a quick stop at the most racist city in Skyrim to barely help solve a few murders. He took the serial killer's amulet as a keepsake, and it helps him perform magic, but at the cost of his well-being. Then he went on a fetch quest for a big, tall Nordic mommy named Mjol, and she agreed to marry him. She tops him hard every night. Next, Jeff got tricked into joining a literal Daedric murder cult, and in the middle of taking a bunch of innocent lives for the bit, he met another member who was a jester, and Jeff took it personally that someone else might be funny, so he murdered him in a secret location and took his jester hat. Then he got suckered into joining a vampire cult that wanted him to put out the sun. after he was turned into a vampire, he realized he was in too deep, stole a ring, and stopped the plan to end the world. He got turned back into a human, found some nice gloves, assassinated the emperor of the literal world for a dead woman who speaks to him in his mind, purchased a home in the big city, and adopted 2 orphans to be his and Mjol's children. Those are his
Oh.
kids. See them up there?
Oh, cute.
After countless days avoiding rain, ineffective combat, and bidding himself into situations where he either had to commit ritualistic murder or be killed himself, Geoffrey joined the Bard's College of Solitude. There he learned poems, songs, and the hardest spell in conjuration, Summon Dremora Lord, a spell that can summon a big, strong rage monster with a sword to kill people for you. Now that Skyrim Geoffrey had his version of Skyrim Josh, he dragged his murderous meat puppet to the tallest peak of the world to learn a final spell, the Clear Skies Shout. With it, Geoffrey is now able to yell at the clouds, and in an instant, it will stop raining, which, more than love, children, or friendship, is what he's always wanted, and he lived ever after.
Oh, he got the spell. No more rain.
Wow.
Can I ask a question really quick? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you said he simped his way through the first mission. Does that mean like he did whatever women told him to do, or like he just wasn't good at it?
I am using it as just, I don't know, turning that into a verb felt right.
I love it. I just didn't know if there was some
Just
added color.
it's evocative of how it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Um,
I
okay,
feel like I was going to be flattered at like the knowledge of me, and while in some ways I am, in other ways I'm like maybe people can know you too well. Maybe it is possible to be known
It's
too.
cool you got the hot big Nordic lady at some point.
Look, parts of this I love. I love having I love having Skyrim Josh. I love having my Nordic mommy. Do I love the insinuation of selling my soul every single chance I get? No. Is it pretty funny though? Yes. So I get it. I get it. Yeah, I
You
get
get
it. I
pegged
get
every
it.
night.
What's it? I want to see his farewell.
Yeah.
Farewell, Geoffrey. Final thoughts. Easily the hardest time I've ever had on a playthrough in this game. I seriously considered quitting multiple times. I've never had a worse time advancing. Absolutely nothing was optimized. Being Geoffrey in Skyrim was not easy, and it wasn't always fun. So, now that we're through with that first section, I would love to hear some questions. What would you like to, what would you like to discuss? I know that we just had a little bit of a discussion period, but this is like the natural break. So if there is anything, feel free to throw it.
Josh,
Oh, sorry.
no, Josh, you had talked to me, you had showed me a little bit about how combat as this character would actually work before I got Skyrim Josh to do everything for me. Could you talk through a little bit how my character would actually go through a combat scenario?
Yes, absolutely. So, Geoffrey, up until the point that he learned the Summon Dremora spell, was essentially useless. There was no effective course of action during combat. He's a sneaky character, so he uses stealth. He also uses light armor, which behooves his sneaking, but his only modus operandi while sneaking, to exit sneaking, is either summoning something, which makes him apparent immediately, or using a two-handed weapon, which has no bonuses with sneaking. And so he would sneak up behind someone, and then either like summon a small wolf that would then bite them, do 0 damage, or he would swing a hammer at them and do 0 damage. So it was a process of me suffering through every single combat scenario, because it was like I'd be undetected and then I would suddenly be detected and I would take enormous amounts of damage and then often die. And then once Geoffrey learned the Summon Dremora spell, that just became the game. That was the game after that point, was he would just summon the Dremora and the Dremora would do all of the work. And then it was just Geoffrey running around, whatever enclosed space it was, trying to get away.
I'm assuming this is like you're playing with other people at the same time who are playing in this world. Is that right? Is it like open?
No, it is not an MMORPG. It is just a fantasy single-player role-playing RPG.
Okay.
And
Well,
so just me.
Either way, did any of the NPCs think that Geoffrey was funny?
Yeah, my question was, how did other people in the world react to Geoffrey?
Yeah.
So I, while role-playing Geoffrey, did a good job of choosing the dialogue options that Geoffrey would have chosen, and just doing Geoffrey's decisions People hated him. They absolutely could not stand him. I ruined so many potential quest line endings and relationships by choosing like the bit, and it really put a wrench in a couple of different spots in my play.
Was Jeffries the hardest of all your I know you said it was your most difficult gameplay in general. Was it your hardest to maintain the discipline of only remaining within character just for your own gameplay sake?
You know, after setting that rule set into motion, it kind of kept itself in track because I was advancing those skills and I didn't have, say, like a one-handed weapon to use. And so I had to use Volendrung, the
You were
giant.
locked in. It's kind of like Jeffrey. You're locked in anyway.
Yeah. No, I didn't
Yeah,
have a
that's a good
choice.
point.
I was connected to the suck. There was no way to escape.
Was I charming? Was I a charming character?
I mean, I think that's self-evident. Of course you were.
What were his kids' names?
His kids' names were Lucia and I forgot the second one.
Was he a good dad?
Probably
Yeah,
Mark.
he was a good dad. Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he got to the nicest house in the world.
What ended up with him and Meal?
Oh, she tops him hard.
Oh, there's still
okay, that's the end of it.
so
Okay.
he still has the kids, Meal and Demera.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. That's a pretty good ending, and he can stop the rain. He can stop the rain.
Yeah.
Remora watches
It
every
kind of
night.
seems like Jeffrey's life only works if it works the one exact way it can work out. You know?
Yeah. It was
Cool.
predetermined,
Do
predestined.
you feel that way, Jeffrey?
I'm on that one path, baby. And I know
Jeffrey
it's gonna
walks-
work. No need to change course because that one path is gonna work.
He doesn't stray.
Incredible.
All
Well,
right, everyone.
that was great.
Well,
I love it.
Thank you. He's going to repeat the like explanation of what Skyrim is for the next two.
next up, Maximilian Gordon McCune.
Oh yeah.
Max.
Ooh, I look cool.
You did a good job of making the people look like us.
You did.
I'm excited to see Avery, but Max and I look
Yeah.
like us.
Meet Max. Willing to pay any price for fame, this brash swashbuckler sports woeful finances. He looks like Max, acts like Max, is Max if Max were in Skyrim. Max's race. Max's race is Imperial, native to the cosmopolitan heart of Cyrodiil. With dark hair and olive skin, all Imperials are blessed with an uncanny luck and the inborn ability to calm aggressors with their voices. Max's gameplay difficulty, also adept, the middling difficulty because of the constraints of roleplay. Max's general rules. Rules applying to his baseline gameplay. Crafting. No crafting allowed. Max can only cooked fish, canned tuna. No dairy under any circumstances. No cheese wheels. Selling. Max can sell valuables, rings, etc., precious materials like silver and gold, or important, unique items that might be useful later. Buying. He buys arcane accessories or garbage he doesn't need. Followers. Max is absolutely obsessed with having followers. Max's advanced gameplay. Rules applying to playthrough. Max always chooses the charming dialogue option. He tries to diffuse all conflict peacefully and all differences with flattery. Anytime he barters with a shopkeeper, he has to buy something he doesn't need. All money made from quests must have half blown on random crap. Max prioritizes high honor quest lines for clout and acclaim. And Max steals all the time and utterly refuses to talk to the guards of any city if there's any choice in the matter. It's made a couple quests really difficult. Max's skills. A comprehensive list of skills Max uses and advances. Alteration. He can alter himself to accomplish his goals. Acting, adapting, code switching. Illusion. He's an expert at redirecting energy, keeping negative attention off himself and staying in focus. Restoration. When injured, Max is able to heal himself with powerful narcissism. One-handed. Max can hold his own well in a standard face-to-face confrontation. He's armed in a battle of wits. Heavy armor. Max knows his own weaknesses well and isn't shy about them, leading him to have generally thick skin, good resistances. Lockpicking. He's a thief who steals without remorse. Speech. This one's obvious. It's a skill associated with talking your way out of every situation. He's a pro. 8. Max would be proficient in the pickpocket skill, but he's not nearly subtle or quiet enough. Max's gear. Items Max uses and wears. The Jagged Crown. Reward for a quest. More on this later. It's a crown, so it offers little protection, but it looks cool.
Hell yeah.
The Lord's Mail. Armor that bears the Imperial Sigil and sucks life, attention, from the individuals he's in combat with. Ebony Spell Knight Gauntlets. Handwear that increases one's ability to perform restoration magic. Powerful healing narcissism. Imperial Dragon Boots. Boots that protect during combat and signify the choice to side with the Empire in a Jets Sharks-esque brawl. The Amulet of Articulation. A necklace that improves abilities during bartering or convincing. He's our charismatic boy. Mentor's Ring. A ring that makes all basic spells a little easier. Also, Max had to get addicted to gambling to get it. More on that later. Mage's Pack. A backpack full of communist books. And Chillrend/Nightingale Blade. It's 2 blades. 2 sick-ass swords with sick-ass names, earned for being a top-tier criminal.
Hell yeah.
Max's Journey, Part 1. Max grabbed the 2 nearest swords and just started swinging. And somehow, it worked. The first thing he did was the super boring main quest because it's the most Gryffindor thing he could imagine. He snagged some sick armor from a group of violent migrants and purified the heart of a knight for some powerful gauntlets. Everything was incredibly straightforward. Max took a quick detour to his beloved home in the base of his beloved home base of Whiterun to apply to the Bard's College in Solitude, the liberal arts school of Skyrim. There, he increased his most prized skill, speech, with the gift of gab after helping to reinstitute a tradition of burning an effigy of a harsh authoritarian king. This brought him great joy. While in Solitude, Max bore his armor, the Lord's Mail, a chest piece with an Imperial sigil. Solitude, being the base for the Imperial army in Skyrim, seemed the best place to join up to fight in the Civil War. A classic case of collectivist versus populist, Max sided with the non-racists, and his first mission was to obtain and return an ancient symbolic crown, the Jagged Crown. Max found and retrieved it. But it looked too cool, so he stole it. On his way out, he grabbed some cool Imperial boots after winning them in a rumble with the Stormcloaks, racists. He was already in Whiterun for the fight, so he stayed and purchased a home there in the central breadbasket of Skyrim. Think Chicago, but mythical. He, however, lost his key and can never enter his house.
I moved into a new apartment yesterday and I lost our first set of keys. Oh shit. That's so sad I can't get in.
Art imitates life. Max became cripplingly addicted to Skyrim's version of gambling, fishing. He would sit for hours in front of ponds and streams, casting his line and drawing up boots. In between bouts by the water, he'd make friends in inns and sit, blowing his money on sweet rolls and ale, waiting for the dawn of day so he could cast his line once more. What did he want? A special ring called Mentor's Ring. He thought it would be easy to obtain, but as it turns out, fishing is incredibly dull and it hardly ever gives you what you want or expect. He only wanted the ring because it would give him the ability to do some minor spells more easily, and it ruined his life. But then he found it and moved on to what he always wanted, a professional life of crime in Skyrim's underworld.
Hell yeah.
Max joined, improved, reformed, and ended up leading the Thieves Guild. During, he found 2 cool swords with cool names, Chillrend and Nightingale. He also acquired an amulet to improve his speech and charisma even further. Once he was fully outfitted, he embarked on his final journey to accomplish his super objective, the killing of all vampires. Max joined the Dawn Guard. Max slaughtered many vampires, and he immediately felt better, knowing that there were fewer bats in the world. Having completed his goals, he retired to Whiterun, where he roams the streets and spends long hours staring at the Hall of Jorvaskr, because it looks like a great wooden Chicago bean. He still can't get into his house. The nights are cold.
Oh.
Farewell, Maxrum. Final thoughts. So boring. Maybe even less enjoyable than Jeffrey's playthrough. It was run, hack, / repeat. I considered quitting multiple times because it was so monotonous and easy. At least Jeff's was a challenge. The only good part about it is how fucking hot he is.
Yeah. You made my character hot as fuck. I love that. Thank you, Josh. That was fucking awesome.
You are so welcome.
Wow.
Right.
I like that more than I thought I was going to like it.
You know, one of my questions was, did Max ever become able to get into his house? And then you answered it right at the end. Nuh-uh.
So Jeffrey became a vampire for a little bit. Would Max have killed Jeffrey had they lived in the same world?
If they had met during that time, Max would have had no choice.
No way. No
Right.
way. Max would have seen my kind eyes.
If you could turn into a bat with kind eyes, easier to kill. Fuck you. Um, uh, okay, similar. Like I know I have the gift of gab, and speech was one of my skills. What was it like speaking with NPCs? Say like contrast similar conversation I would have had to have, or you would have had to have as me, and you would have had to have as Jeffrey.
Right. I think the biggest difference between you and Jeffrey while talking to NPCs or just like moving through dialogue is that they liked you.
Hmm.
Um, and it was easy.
Yeah.
And with Jeffrey, it was supremely tedious because every time I would trigger something that he would say in real life, it triggered then like 5 more lines of dialogue from them where they were offended. Um,
So I would often say the thing I would say the thing that would make it easiest on me, right?
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. As you should, as you should. Nice. That's awesome. Hell yeah. And are thieves cool in Skyrim? Like, are they pretty cool? Like,
They're pretty cool. Yeah, they live in a cistern beneath a lake city, which is pretty fucking sick.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's one of the favorite quests in the game.
Fuck yeah. Cool.
I like Max is like, look, I would be a thief, but only if being a thief still is like fucking cool as hell.
Cool.
Do you think I ever would have stolen Jeffrey if like I was raised with like Catholic suburban moms being like stealing from Target's the cool thing to do? I probably would have been like, no, I'm never gonna steal. It's like
You know what's
serious.
cool? Paying full for everything.
Yeah, I'll be like, fuck yeah. Well, that was great.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was fun. One more question. I'm sorry. How difficult did Max having to spend as much money as he did make the journey overall?
Oh my God, that was
Oh,
that was that made it not fun at all.
Okay.
can I tell you, sweet rolls and ale sound fucking sick. That sounds literally
He said that. I was like, yeah.
in real life, that's what I would buy, and we have every option. I would buy a sweet roll and ale. That sounds fucking awesome.
I also like, I know in order to get all of our different items that work the best for us and do those things, it kind of, we have to play through like different like parts of our life, right? Like in mine, I was like enslaved to various deities or vampires. And in Max's though, really makes sense of like he's a thief for a while, he's a heavy gambler for a while. For a while, he's part of the Dawn Guard and he's killing vampires like that. That's exactly Max. That's
Bouncing between jobs.
How long did it take you to get the ring from fishing?
Oh my God, fishing sucks, dude.
Okay.
It was implemented later. It was implemented like I think officially it was implemented 10 years after the release of Skyrim, like a decade, and it was put in just to give like people who are done with the game something to do. And
That's
so hours, maybe
God.
hours of just casting a line.
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, sucked.
I like there's a part of it where Josh's playthrough of the game was go out, cast a line for 10 hours, go to a bar, blow all your money, and then fall asleep on the street somewhere, and then wake up in the morning and then just do it again. That's so funny that
That
must
is
have
also
been
like
the
the least
weeks of
Josh
time.
approach to a game. That is, yeah. I understand why you had a tough time with that
Yeah,
one.
if you told me you could go do a bunch of work and do shit, or you might get the ring if you sit there for a little bit and fish, there's a chance I'd be like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get that ring.
Today is the day.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, you did get the ring. Baby, you got the ring.
I
Good luck.
did.
Good luck, baby.
Yeah. It was hours in real life. In gameplay time, months.
Nice.
Months of fishing.
Fishing and drinking and eating. That's great.
Fuck yeah. Living the life.
Worst ways to live. There
All
are
right,
worse ways to
everybody.
live.
Yeah, being in a cult.
Avery. Avery.
Ho ho ho.
Lastly, Avery Evangeline Baker. Avery. Meet Avery, ambitious and amoral. A wizard forgoes safety for great power and influence. She looks like Avery, acts like Avery, is Avery if Avery were in Skyrim. Yes,
That looks exactly like Avery.
I know. This doesn't look as much like Avery as Jeff and Max look like their characters. That's because Avery is a high elf. But look at these other high elves down here and tell me I didn't kill it making my Avery elf look like my Avery human. Look at these. Look at these freaks.
Closest an elf could look to Avery.
They do look, it does look more like me than
And
that guy.
those, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I found multiple YouTube guides created solely under the pretense that high elves are particularly difficult to make look human. Skyrim, how to make a good-looking male character high elf. Skyrim, how to make a beautiful female character high elf. These are real. Maybe we can watch them later. Shout out to YouTube Lily Mirror. You have 12.8 thousand subscribers. We have 4. How?
Really?
She's doing real content. She's doing useful content.
What are we doing wrong? If this does numbers, it's only fantasy RPG content from here on out. I swear to Christ.
Actually,
Okay, yeah.
Avery's race.
Really?
Avery's race is Altmer or High Elf, native to Somerset Isle. Fair and proud, sophisticated with a deep connection to magic, Altmer possess the inborn ability to perform great mental and mystical feats. Avery's gameplay difficulty. Avery's gameplay difficulty is also Adept, the middling difficulty. It was easiest for the constraints of all of your role plays. Avery's general rules. Rules applying to baseline gameplay. Crafting. No crafting allowed. Are you kidding? Avery? Crafting? Selling. Avery can sell valuables. Rings, necklaces, circlets, precious materials, silver, gold, gems, or unwanted potions and tomes. Buying. She buys arcane accessories, books, and useful items. Followers. Real Avery, in real life, hardly ever asks for help. You think fantasy Avery would tolerate a full-time assistant? No. No, she's doing it herself. Avery's advanced gameplay. Rules applying to playthrough. Avery always chooses the strategic diplomatic dialogue option. Avery is good with money and barters well with shopkeepers. The bulk of income is saved for things like houses, etc. Avery is an imperial sympathizer, but isn't annoying about it. And Avery has flexible morals. She'll do high or low honor quests alike. She only discriminates based off the coin she'll find or be paid.
I feel like too.
Avery's skills. A comprehensive list of skills that she can use in advance. Alteration. Avery can alter herself to accomplish her goals. Look, sound, be different. Illusion. Avery is a master of confusion and keeping negative attention off of herself. Why fight when you can convince others to? Destruction. Avery's preferred method of attack is with her brain. Destruction magic is for the cerebral and highly effective. Restoration. In real life, she survives and thrives in solely demanding jobs. She must have military-grade methods for managing stress. Lockpicking. Sometimes locks get between Avery and what she wants. Sneak. Avery avoids conflict if possible, removing enemies from a distance. Speech. Avery is a natural networker and articulator. One-handed. Avery uses a dagger, but only when necessary for close-up encounters. Get inside, do damage, try not to die, and get out. Block. Similarly, Avery uses a shield for necessary close encounters. Unlike Jeffrey, her blocking is actually quite effective.
Okay.
Avery's gear. Archmage's circlet. Avery acquired this for doing the quest equivalent of extra credit. It increases magical ability. Archmage's robes. Noticing a theme? They improve magical ability. Cicero's gloves. Gloves for sneaking that increase the damage of backstabs. Someone had to die for these. More on that later. Cicero's boots. Another theme. These boots make you quiet while walking. Savos Aaron's amulet. A necklace that greatly increases magical stores. Ring of the Erudite, an evil ring with unprecedented stores of magic. Recognize that one? Mage's Pack, a backpack for books, spells, and other useful items. The Blade of Woe, a deadly dagger with a dark past that drains the life of those it strikes. Someone had to die for this too. Another theme. And Auriel's Shield, a special shield that stores the energy of incoming attacks and releases it back in a powerful burst.
Hell yeah.
Avery's Journey, Part 1. Avery, unlike the other two, began her journey by lighting everyone on fire. Additionally, unlike Jeff and Max, she completely ignored the main quest line. There's no money to be made in it. Because she's not a sucker, she immediately ran up to the Winterhold and enrolled in the Mages College there. She had no problem getting accepted and celebrated by desecrating an ancient Nordic burial crypt for a bauble. By this point, she had already made enough money to purchase nearly every spell in the game, and she used them all to disintegrate anything and anyone that got in her way. But things were moving too slowly for Avery. Above all else, she craved power, and so she took a sabbatical from the College of Winterhold to commit crimes against nature and Skyrim's people. Avery's deft usage of destruction magic and her predilection for illusion magic made her the perfect assassin. All she had to do was turn invisible and then shoot a lightning bolt up her victim's rectum. She did that a lot and professionally. She made a killing working for the Dark Brotherhood. That's where she acquired her gloves and boots from an annoying little man she had to set on fire. That's also where she acquired her dagger, the Blade of Woe. To acquire it, she had to kill a bitch who was running her mouth. After she made a ludicrous amount of money and ended up being instituted as the de facto leader of that shadowy group of assassins, she turned her attention back towards the humanities. She was, again, bored and felt like getting the only 2 degrees you can get in Skyrim simultaneously. Avery enrolled in the Bard's College at Solitude, and to celebrate, she desecrated yet another ancient crypt for the furtherment of education. She did other good deeds, traipsing about Skyrim, freeing a young child slave from the Forsworn in the Reach, the same group that Jeffrey accidentally joined, solving the mysterious murder of a family of migrants from Hammerfell and the Pale, the same race of men Max slaughtered for a shirt, and so on and so forth, until she wound up back at the College of Winterhold, where she summarily killed a dragon priest and an elf supremacist to be named the Archmage and leader of the college. Unfortunately, her teacher died in the process, so she took his crown, necklace, and robes because they had really good stats and he wasn't using them anymore. Avery was now the leader of the most prestigious mages college in Skyrim. Out of curiosity, she sort of accidentally temporarily became a vampire just to acquire the most powerful ring and shield in the known world. She didn't have to kill too many innocents to do it, and she had some goodwill accrued by that point, so all's well that ends well. After reducing the world's most powerful vampire to ash, she caught wind that the Daedric Prince of Knowledge favored an ancient dragonborn from the far northeast. He was talking shit from an ethereal realm bound in books and dark knowledge, so she traveled there and kicked his ass. Today, she lives between her 2 colleges, a bard and wizard both, enjoying the well-worn life of a terrifying mage who killed enough people that she became rich.
Damn. Fuck.
Farewell, Averin. Final thoughts. This one was actually fun. Where with Jeff, I was struggling to progress, and with Max, I was trying to burn through and be done, I actually really enjoyed Avery's playthrough. It was the right combination of challenging and rewarding. The gameplay was engaging, and I'd do it again.
Damn, that's a pretty cool end.
That was a blast. So Lockheed Martin or Raytheon, if you're listening.
He'll do whatever it takes.
Available.
That's crazy. That was pretty she has a cool end result. It sounds awful to me. I'd hate doing it, but it's cool as fuck. It's way cooler for fantasy than what me and Jeffrey were doing. Her life, searching for power and prestige translates better.
Yeah. Yeah. Being a wizard is way cooler than summoning one monster and hiding behind it every single fight.
Was it
Avery's was a blast to play as. I actually genuinely enjoyed it.
So who ended up actually killing more innocents, Avery or Jeffrey?
Definitely Jeffrey probably did.
Just because his was more like ritual mass slaughter on accident.
Jeffrey,
right? And it was several times.
Couldn't
but I felt bad about it.
The most genocidal groups in Skyrim.
Yes, but again, I felt bad about my murders. Avery didn't
really know that's what it was. You know, it was for the bit. It was for the bit.
I feel like mine wasn't full on genocide. Yours was like a race of people. You know what I mean?
That is right, but again, I felt bad about it. Buys you back a lot of points.
Guilt, one of Jeffrey's character's skills. Is so like Avery's was very like any quest like we're maximizing the effect of this quest or the reward. You know, like what's this? Yeah. That sounds cool. It's
pragmatism.
What's
operative or this pragmatism?
What's the mechanism by which she became a vampire, then reduced the most powerful one to ashes? How did that come about?
Well, she became a vampire, and then another vampire, the most powerful vampire, became jealous of her for being powerful and having an Elder Scroll, and he wanted to, change up the world. And she said, "What if I killed you?"
Nice.
Girls need to learn to get along.
What you said that this is going back a bit. You had said that Max was trying to get as many followers as he could, but I don't think you mentioned any.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, followers in the game, you run into people and then you ingratiate yourselves with them, and then they can follow you if you want them to. They can give you things, or they just like you. I didn't really have anybody run around with Max because I feel as if Max would, in these quest lines, not want to share if he saved the world, which he did in a couple different ways. I don't think he'd want to be like me and Faendal, the elf who was hiding in the shadows. And so my approach to followers with Max was more like get everyone in your favor to the point that you could prompt them to follow you on a quest or an adventure. But I didn't actually bring many with me.
Dude, I love when they like me. I don't love when they're always around. It's like fucking leave
Or when
me.
they get credit for something.
No, 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 no. It's not Max and the gang. It's Max and his gang, who doesn't over there. If I need him to do something, that's
I
better.
will say, Max, if you could only have one follower at a time, no way Max would do it. If you could have 5 followers at a time and it's Max running around with 5 people running behind him, that I think Max
Dude,
would.
I was at a party last night and I was miserable because people were talking to me one-on-one. And then I ended up in a situation where it was me telling 6 people a story. And I was like, this is fun. This is fun. I did not like that conversation. The conversation was not fun. Stop talking to me. I want to tell all of you a
Doesn't
story.
want to know you at all. You're just
I was honestly gonna leave. I was kind of tired and I was gonna leave. But yeah, I think you crushed. These are honestly very impressive.
these are very impressive, incredibly well done.
I feel very known.
For each of these, how many real world hours do you think you sunk into each of these characters?
I actually have a little bit on that. Reflecting on Friendrim.
Friendrim rocks.
Final stats. Each of my friends in Skyrim achieved differing levels throughout their tenure in the world. Jeffrey was the highest level at his conclusion. Jeffrey achieved the highest level during his tenure in Skyrim, likely because he had to survive. He achieved level 50. Max was the lowest level by the time he finished his final quest, partially because he was advancing quickly and also because I was absolutely burning through out of boredom. His final level was 36. Avery came in right in the middle, reaching level 43 by the time she'd completed all of her tasks. It was a welcome reprieve. I don't know the exact time for each of these, but if you want to do your own research or enter it into a, I don't know, Skyrim level to time calculator, I'm sure you could find something. I would say hundreds of hours.
This is incredible news.
I'm going to tentatively say hundreds of hours.
Josh, as when you play not Friendrim, when you're just playing Skyrim, do you have is your base character a flanderized Josh, or is that a more like I'm gonna play to be good at the game?
It is never Josh, actually.
Okay.
But actually, I have more on that.
Okay.
But first, in my canon, all of you meet at the Bard's College in Solitude. This is what happens in my brain. It is, after all, the liberal arts college university of Skyrim. It's the one beat in all of your stories that matches up perfectly. From your school, you three comprise a classic party of adventurers. Jeffrey as the thief, Max as the warrior, and Avery as the mage. You'd build the same bonds as you'd have in the real world, adventuring, conquering, and laughing together. And so you'd stay, bound in fellowship, in Friendrim. But there are 2 missing. And I'll get to the 2 in just a moment. But to explain this, since you all know that you all enrolled and then succeeded at the Bard's College, yeah, that's where you meet, is there. And that's actually Jeffrey in the top left, standing in front of a portion of the Bard's College. You can see some people playing a lute and hitting a drum. Nice. Any questions about the Bard's College, or do you understand what I mean when I say in my canon? Because in Skyrim, you can only play as one individual at a time. And so this is beyond
literary headcanon.
You're like doing your like it's like when you used to write fanfic. You're like doing that again.
Hilarious bit. I want everyone to know I've never written fanfic, but now I will. Or actually, perhaps I already have.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
This is close to fanfic.
Honestly, if this were to go anywhere, for you to write these stories would be so funny.
I forgot that we were for the podcast. I'm sorry. Josh has never written fanfic. I misspoke and I forgot what we were allowed to say and not.
Yeah. No, this is a good bit. Yeah. You know what's
an insidious way? That's an insidious way to accuse someone of doing something in the podcast by pretending you're like, oh, you're right, wink, wink. We're not going to talk about this.
That was really.
That's because it just completely defangs any of our ability to say.
I saw like a darkness overcome Jeffrey's eyes. That was pretty wild.
Yeah. But to be fair, I mean, do you think that I would hide my fan fiction if I'm doing this?
No, we'd have a bonus content episode every time you wrote a new chapter. That's what would happen.
You know,
Yeah.
One time, Josh wrote a whole Shrek thing and sent it to a whole group of people, and it was like the
I
one
remember that. I
it
remember
was
that.
of
horrible.
Josh and Donkey and Boots.
Big day in my life.
Yeah.
My favorite thing though is just to do things that I know Josh will hate. So that's all. I sent Josh a meme the other day that said we all have that one ailing homie who won't make it through the winter. And I said, Josh, this is you. And he
That's
did
crazy.
not like that.
It's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
what did I tell you, Jeffrey?
Josh said, that makes me a little sad. And so we had to talk about it.
So you just said it on the podcast
That
again.
doesn't sound like what I said, Jeffrey. What did I tell you?
Josh also said he would hunt me for sport,
That
or his retribution would be swift.
I believe. Oh, I believe that one.
I know.
That's fair.
I want to see the rest of this canon. I want to see how.
Yeah,
we
I'm sorry. Yeah.
There are two missing. The Josh and Samantha problem.
Oh,
Yes, I know it would make more linear sense to now make characters for both Samantha and myself, but the issue there is, we both can make things with our hands. It's difficult to explain without specific gameplay to help contextualize, but part of why it was somewhat doable to make each of you three in the world is because none of you have an incredibly strong precedent of making things physically, arts, crafts, etc. Doing a no crafting run is simple, but once you dip into potion making, alchemy, rune weaving, enchanting, or item crafting, blacksmithing, the balance of the game fundamentally changes. It's feasible, but it would change the gameplay and leveling cap considerably. In short, we'd be cracked. Also, and perhaps more importantly, I live every day as me. Why would I want to be me in a video game? I know what it's like. If anything, I'd try to find where Samantha fits. That seems more interesting in my opinion. Maybe we can work something out as a small-scale exercise, but none of you know this game like me, so I don't really see the point. I'd make Samantha, though. I'd just have to think about it. Also, Jeffrey already tried to convince me to make myself in the game a couple weeks back, and he did a terrible job, bad enough that I'll likely never consider it. He was like, you won't make a character? And I said what I outlined previously. And then he was like, but wouldn't it be funny if there was some mechanic in the game where you could just like die, because of your medical history?
I don't remember this.
I wish I was
remember
making
this.
any of this up. This is verbatim. Gleefully, Jeffrey was like, think about it. Isn't there some game mechanic that we can just instantly kill you and you can't stop it? To which I responded, why would I want to roleplay that? Exposure therapy? Do you think I crafted these characters taking into account a literal one-to-one of your greatest weaknesses? Does that sound like fun to you? This is a fantasy realm. Realistically, I am the only one of us who could survive in this world with my actual body. And here Jeffrey is, trying to make me brainstorm about what rule set I could implement while role-playing as myself in a video game that could cause my instant death or incapacitation. For what? Realism? This really bothered me. Jeffrey's getting real loose with this kind of shit recently. Shit about my health, my medical history, making comments, making jokes. If I put you all in Skyrim as your actual selves, Jeff and Avery would die in the cold, and Max would stab in an inn for making a sideways comment about someone's tunic. It's not meant to be realistic. It's meant to be fun. How is that fun, Jeffrey? He said all this to me on the phone, just a friendly phone call. Bold. Too bold. Listen, I took into consideration a generously leavened assessment of all of your strengths, weaknesses, your penchants, and quirks, and I ported them into this pre-existing world where you could realistically serve as the hero of a magnificent story, because I love you. I poured unselfish analysis into these portraits, and I shared them with you all voluntarily. And what do I get in return? What do you think I would deserve from my own self? I get to play a character with permanent ataxia? I get to virtually die for my own immersion? Is that fun? Is that love? I have been generous. I have been merciful. I have been a beacon of grace, and I will never make my own character. I will never join you in your merry band because Jeffrey destroyed the foolish hope that it might bring me peace. And if not peace, Jeffrey, violence. Violence I will have, for a lesson must be learned. Retribution will be swift.
Yep, there it is. That's the line.
Introducing real Jeffrey. Fuck you.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Meet real Jeffrey. Gameplay difficulty. Legendary. Race, bitch. Skills, 0. Gear, dirty rags. Magic, none. This is real life. Gameplay rules, eat shit. Character description, a sniveling piece of shit born to shit his pants. And this is real Jeffrey's journey. Real Jeffrey came into being at the lake, a gargling spider with no reason to live. I'm a hero, said real Jeffrey, and this is my journey. Real Jeffrey started his real Jeffrey journey by skittering into town like some lizard and grossing everyone out. Wow, I'm hungry and cold, said real Jeffrey. Skulking about, he hunched his way towards some cabbages in a cart. I need those cabbages, squealed real Jeffrey, slithering like a wet rat. I need them. Real Jeffrey took one cabbage out of the cart, and everyone in the town, even the pedestrians, even the priests, stomped him out like the dirty piece of shit bug he is. Shot full of many arrows, real Jeffrey thought to himself, wait, this can't be right, but I'm the hero of this story. Something will happen. Something will save me. And there real Jeffrey died, thinking positive thoughts about himself on the side of the road, bleeding out in minutes from multiple puncture wounds. Real Jeffrey awoke where he started, at the lake. Huh, said real Jeffrey, this is some hero's journey, lots of ups and downs. And so he confidently continued. Real Jeffrey climbed a hill, approaching some friendly-looking folks wearing animal hides and brandishing bone spears. Ew, a bug, they yelled, attacking him. Where? Squeaked real Jeffrey, as the beings and beasts shot him with ice spikes and flayed his living form. Is it on me? He cried, feeling the blades pierce him. Real Jeffrey, freezing and bleeding to death, thought, surely I'll survive. Losing consciousness, he heard a man speak of eating him. Who? Jeffrey wondered. Real Jeffrey suddenly found himself back at the lake. Wow, I guess being a hero is hard, he said, but that's what it's all about. And now I'll be stronger than ever. Prepare for battle, swine, wailed real Jeffrey as a wizard blasted him with a lightning bolt and the bandit stoved his head in. Real Jeffrey, his skull split and his nervous system fried, thought, I'll never give up. This is just the beginning. It took him 20 hours to die, howling on the ground. I'm so hungry, screeched real Jeffrey. Please let me have some cheese. The giant did not answer as he crushed real Jeffrey's ribcage with a 6-foot club. Drowning in his own blood, real Jeffrey saw a butterfly. He smelled flowers. Beautiful. A hero's death, he thought as he expired, shitting his pants. No, you have to stop, real Jeffrey, as a group of rats bit him all over. I'm the hero of this story. I'm the hero. The rats tore the hero to pieces. It was at this moment that Jeffrey, dying without most of his skin and fingers, felt something mingling with the intense pain in rat bites, an icy twinge of doubt. What is going on? Asked real Jeffrey, awake once more at the lake. How could this happen to me? Am I not? No, I'm the hero, and this is my journey. Howdy, friends, called real Jeffrey as he was filled with arrows. All right, see you later, he shouted as he quickly cucked away. Oh my, said real Jeffrey, realizing he'd stumbled into a frost troll's lair. Please don't do this, said real Jeffrey as the frost troll mauled him. Real Jeffrey, paralyzed with wings, was severely abused by the frost troll before the cold took him. I'm the hero, he whispered to the dirt. This is my journey. Is this all there is? Real Jeffrey asked of the lake. I was supposed to be the hero. This was supposed to be my journey. He stood there for some time, thinking. He thought of the people he'd met. He recalled the places he'd seen. He remembered the things he'd done. Real Jeffrey approached the water's edge to look at his reflection. Am I cursed to live, caged and cruelly? Is this my lot? Speak to me, lake. Show me a sign. And there, as though conjured underfoot, he found a barrel of fish. You are like me, he said to them. Like me, you deserve your own life. You deserve to be free. And so, at the foot of the shore, he let the fish go. They swam into the lake. Maybe I don't need to be a hero. Maybe it's enough for my journey to be real.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for real Jeffrey, he unknowingly said and did all this in the presence of the fisherman whose catch it was. The grand gesture was lost on him. And so the fisherman drowned real Jeffrey in the lake. The end. The Journey of Real Jeffrey.
Oh my God. It always kind of looked like how Jeffrey would die if he got shot with arrows.
Yeah.
Thank you all for exploring Friendrim.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Jeff.
Oh, we love you. That was a blast.
That was great.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. Does this change your mind about what I can and can't do with my drawing skills? It's pretty good, huh? Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
It is pretty funny that none of us three have a penchant for the more physical crafting of things.
I can't do it at all. It's crazy.
I hate crafts.
When
Yeah, this was fun. We might maybe we need to pivot. If this takes off, we're a fantasy RPG
we're
podcast.
all in. Well,
My ranking of who I'd most like to play as is honestly it's Avery, then me, then Jeffrey. I'd rather play as Avery than me.
What about Real Jeffrey?
Real Jeffrey, I don't want to play as Real Jeffrey.
There's no one I'd rather be than me.
Oh my God.
There
All
it
right.
is.
There it is. That's good. That's a good.
Jeff-
Josh, thank you for all the effort of that. That was great. That was
Very
fun.
good.
I feel
That was
like
awesome.
if I ever start with a new therapist, I need to just show them my thing. I'm like, this is what someone who's known me for a long time thought would comprise my character if we were making one and what I value. Do with that what you will, and then let's talk.
Honestly, I think these are all pretty succinct things to
Yeah,
You
get.
hit it on the head.
100%. Jeffrey,
Yeah.
you need to send that clip to the girl you went on a date with.
I mean, she's watched every episode of this show and is still here, so
That's crazy, actually. That's crazy. She's trying to get to me, but you know.
yeah,
Keep
I think
keep
so.
that in.